Hi, today we're going to talk about some parenting techniques and why parents oftentimes get stuck in getting their kids to be respectful and also getting their kids to cooperate with them. We're going to talk about something called stop behaviors, and then we're going to talk about start behaviors. We're also going to talk about how to get kids to stop doing the things you want them to stop, and also how to get them to start doing the things you want them to do. So, to start with, let's take a look at some stop behaviors. An example of a stop behavior would be talking back, swearing, kicking, hitting, spitting, all those things that we would probably put in the column over here as being disrespectful, inappropriate, or rude behaviors. On the other hand, the things that we want our children to do, such as start behaviors, are getting up in the morning on time, getting dressed, brushing their teeth, doing their homework. For an older teenager, coming home at curfew, filling the car up with gas when they're supposed to fill up the car with gas, doing the things that they're supposed to do that are the regular expectations of what we want them to do. So we can't punish in the start column, because if we punish in the start column, then we are essentially stopping the behavior from continuing. So keep that in mind for a minute. What we want to do in the stop column and the stop behaviors is we don't want to punish there either, because when we punish or shame, then it's all about the punishment and the shame, and the child does not remember why they're being reprimanded. So the answer for the stop column is to really look at how do we correct behavior. And if any of you have ever had a puppy, you'll know what I'm talking about. When we want the puppy to stop biting, we say, no bite, no bite. And then we might take our hand away, we might put our hand on the puppy's mouth very gently. Even with a 2-year-old child, if they get near the stove, we tell them, no, hot. And think about what just happened when I said that. It was 2 words, it was very clear, and there was no emotion in my voice. I did not yell, I did not shame, I did not make that 2-year-old feel bad, nor did I make the puppy feel bad. If parents can think about, and even when they're looking at that 15-year-old kid who's all geeky and pimply and all that stuff, and look at them and say, you're still my 2-year-old, and I still need to be your brain. I am going to tell you in very simple words what's appropriate and what's not. So if my kid walks up to me with the hands on the hips and says, give me the car keys, I'm going to say, that's not appropriate. Please don't speak to me that way. And also, could you please remove your hand from your hip? That's going to give my kid a direction on what I don't want them to do, and also a clear expectation on what I do want them to do. And then I'll ask them and I'll say, could you please repeat that again in a nicer way? And I might get, oh Mom, I can't believe you're picking on me like this. You're always like this. I can't stand it. You always do this to me. Just give me the keys. And most of us would want to do that knee jerk again and say, go to your room, that's it, you're not getting the keys, you're grounded for a month, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to say is, please don't speak to me that way, it's disrespectful. And if that 15-year-old comes back at us even a 3rd time, 4th time, 5th time, 6th time, 7th time, 20 times, I don't care how many times it is, you're going to stand there and you're going to say, please don't speak to me that way, that was rude, disrespectful, or inappropriate. And if your kid walks away from you and starts going towards their bedroom, I want you to follow them, and I want you, if they slam the door, I want you to sit outside the door, and I want you to knocking every so often, hi, I'm still here, and we're not finished speaking, and please open your door and come out, because that was disrespectful to slam the door in my face. You are going to be calm as a cucumber. You are going to get the Academy Award for calmest parent on the planet. It's an act. I know it's an act, and it takes a lot of practice. So, the other piece is the start behaviors. And this is to get kids to do something. Now, when I want to put my kid to bed, and I want to get them away from the TV or something else that they're doing, I can't put them in a timeout. I can't say, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, you're in timeout. Why would I want to do that at bedtime? That doesn't make any sense at all, because they're not getting to bed. So what I want to create is a really nice little routine at night that is calming for my child, but I also want to give incentive. And for a young child, it might be a jar of pom-poms, where every time they do the thing they're supposed to do, clear their plate, or take their bath, or pack their lunch for the next day, they get a pom-pom. And when they fill the jar with pom-poms, then there's another jar and they can pick from it. And in that jar, it's 10 minutes of playing Uno with Mommy, or a bike ride with Daddy after dinner, or let's make brownies together, something like that. so that there's a reason that the kid wants to. Look, I go to work because I want to get paid. A child wants to do their chores so that they can get a reward too. And it's not bribing, because we're not paying them to do it. We're rewarding them, and here's the secret. Here's the secret, so listen closely. We're rewarding them with time with you, the parent. How cool is that? If you start doing that when they're really young, they're going to enjoy those little bits of times that you have created together because they have pleased you to do the things that you wanted them to do. Another idea might be a jar for acts of random kindness. Every time you see your child do something nice for someone else in the house, pom-pom goes in the jar. And watch your children start saying, hey, Mommy, you were just really nice to Daddy. I'm going to put a pom-pom in the jar for you. And even for older children, it makes them more aware on a teenage level about how people are talking to each other. And you could say, hey guys, when we fill this huge jar up with pennies or pom-poms or tennis balls or whatever you're going to use to count, we're going to have a cake and pizza on Sunday and celebrate that we are a kind family to each other. Creating your home is the most important thing because you're giving your kids memories. How would you like to be a parent who never yells, who doesn't have to punish, and whose kids cooperate 90% of the time? How would you like to be the parent who takes that summer vacation and everybody's getting along in the car because you've created incentives so that that car ride is easy? How would you like to have your child say to you when they're on the verge of talking back, to step back and say, oh, I'm sorry, Mom, or I'm sorry, Dad, I didn't mean to say that, without instilling fear, without instilling punishment, and without hurting them, and without shaming them? I bet you'd really like that. So if you'd like to hear more, I have lots of information on how to not nag, how to get kids to cooperate in school, and how to do homework better. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.